Well, just a bit of an update on the Cameron Jeffers disqualification. I did a little bit more delving into this, and it appears that everyone's been saying on the internet that he basically got disqualified because he used the bot to get a Tron bike. And technically this is actually incorrect. What he actually got disqualified for is bringing cycling into disrepute. So basically it's doing something that's not to be seen as appropriate for representing cycling in Britain. Now, this is really quite amusing, because we're actually saying that he did something, or what I'm not saying, that British Cycling is saying, that he actually did something that brought cycling into disrepute. And this is why he got the ban, this is why he got the disqualification. Now, when we look at this in hindsight, well, not even in hindsight, in real time, when he actually gained the Tron bike, the actual rules did not exist at all. So when you actually look at it, it's a bit like the chicken and the egg. So they're saying that he did something to bring cycling into disrepute in the e-cycling world, but when he actually got the Tron bike, the Swift game was only a game. There was no endorsement of it being part of cycling or British cycling or part of cycling competitive nature in Britain in any way. So how do you know that something you've done, in the future there's going to be a rule and it's going to be assessed from that rule that you're actually going to bring cycling into disrepute, when not only has the rule not been written, there is no e-cycling. It doesn't exist, as a competitive sport. It didn't exist under British cycling. It didn't exist at all. There was no such thing. All Zwift was a game that was administered by Swift. Now, this is kind of really hard to get your head around, because they're actually saying that something that you may have done retrospectively that was bad can be actually used after the fact, and we can claim that that is bringing cycling into disrepute. So just say any person who had been using Zwift and never had any intention of racing actually did some bot or cheat or hack or whatever, which they have for many games. In fact, actually some of the cheats are actually built into the game for the administrators to use to jump levels and so forth. So therefore, if then in a later date you actually improve your cycling and you become competitive and you say, oh, I'm going to be going to a competitive nature in this form of cycling, then they could actually disqualify you, ban you for something you did when you were just using it as a game, which was prior to the rules being written, and not only to the rules being written, that it was actually even recognised as a sport by British Cycling and any competitive cycling body at all. So you have to really say this is pretty harsh. And even though I actually said in my previous video that he probably deserved to lose the title, I'm actually starting to rethink that, because it is such a bizarre way of evaluating someone who has done something in the past. It's kind of mind-boggling. So what they're saying is any person at any time in the past who has done any hack or bot to gain any equipment which is not in the normal use of the game could actually be disqualified at any time for any reason for bringing cycling into disrepute. It is pretty bizarre. It should actually be that once the rules are written, any time after that, then if you did this, then it's bringing cycling into disrepute, because you don't know that the rule exists. You don't know it's even going to be part of professional cycling to actually know that this will bring cycling into disrepute. It was just a game. There was no... If he actually would have competed the day after he actually got the Tron bike, then it would have been no part of British cycling. It would have just been a game on Swift. Just say they had the Swift British National Championships. It had no affiliation with British cycling, and there would have been no ban or whatever which rolled over into his actual real cycling world. It's only because at a later date that British Cycling became affiliated with Swift and endorsed e-cycling, and then the rules from road actually were overshadowed or umbrellaed e-cycling, that it became a problem. Well, anyway, it's something to think about. And remember this, people are saying, yeah, he deserved to be disqualified because he used a bot to get the Tron bike. But the reality is, that actually not what he got banned for and disqualified for. It was basically bringing cycling into disrepute. So they're saying this act was, you know, what do you call it? I can't think of the word. It's not in good spirit of the sport, if that's probably the words to be used. Well, anyway, that's it. Just thought I would add that to my investigation that I've carried out, and leave your comments down below. I would love to know people who have delved into this a little bit further. What do they think about, you know, bringing cycling into disrepute? Because something of that nature is very much perception by the body that's actually controlling the rules, or is endorsing cycling or controlling cycling in that country or in that environment. Let us know down below. Thanks for watching, and remember to subscribe, and if you want to watch more vids on cycling, just check it up here. Okay then, see you later.